Welcome to Collectors of the Coast. I am Cash, and I just couldn't resist doing a chat about some news that happened on Wall Street that kind of affects Magic the Gathering a little bit, but not a ton. But I just thought it was awesome, and it does affect. There's some people chatting with me about it, reaching out to me, asking about it. So I figured I would do a thing, and really this story is all about Gamestop. So. GameStop, big retail chain in the United States, something like 5,000 stores. I believe they own EB Games in Canada, or there's EB Games is basically the Canadian version of GameStop. So what's happened is people basically, I love when this is awesome. So basically, some greedy Wall Street awful people were betting down GameStop and more or less trying to bankrupt the company. And how they do this, they do something called short. I think it's called. I'm not a big financial markets guy, so I mean certainly don't take any advice from me on what to buy or sell on Wall Street. But you know, it's always been a gamble, and so what they've been doing, they've been driving down the stock on GameStop for about the last 3 or 4 years, so since about 2017. And what they do is they buy stuff high, and then they borrow stock, and then they kind of give out information that makes people like sell lower, and then they sell low, and they make the difference they make money on the difference. So GameStop was around $25 a share in 2017, and it was down to about $4 a share. And so they just kept driving it down, and eventually it would bankrupt the company. Well, GameStop has been changing their business model. They are a video game store. Predominantly, they do Magic the Gathering as well, and I know I've seen some sales. People send me stuff. Oh, there's this great deal at GameStop. You get like $2 packs of Magic the Gathering. It happens every once in a while. They do a sell-off. So they've been kind of changing how they do things. And so some people on Reddit. So there's a buying sort of a stock group on Reddit of, I don't know what it is, like something like a couple million people. And it's called Wall Street Bets, and they're a Reddit group, small investors. And so they saw an opportunity to make money and teach Wall Street a lesson. And so they saw these extremely low positions on it, and they bought the stock. And so they turned around the stock, and they saw a company that had actually done some good things, and it was undervalued, and there was no reason why it should be going out of business. And so this was not the only company that this is the most crazy one of what they've done. So basically, GameStop, they took from $4, it was up to $350 when trading closed last night. So it was up to $350 a stock from $4. While they did this, the lesson they taught, they bankrupted a large hedge fund in the United States that was just making money basically on killing a company. So they bankrupted a company. Apparently, something like this year already, they had taken $5 billion from these hedge funds on doing this short stocking stuff, and so they basically caused one of the bigger hedge funds in the United States to go bankrupt, and seek bankruptcy protection. Just crazy. I mean, the downside is. That bankrupt company originally, other ones of these hedge funds, apparently they bailed them out. But it's nice to see one for the little guy. And of course, GameStop. I mean, as somebody who plays card games and does this stuff, you know, it's nice to see that company stick around. I don't want to see these little mom and pop stores, which have been getting killed during COVID. It'd be nice. It's nice to see them not get to actually get some support for once. And you know, there's a ton of workers in those stores, right? 5,000 stores. Even if they have 10 workers a store or 5 workers a store, that's you know, at 5 workers a store, that's 25,000 jobs. At 10 workers a store, 50,000 jobs. It's a big amount of jobs in the U.S. And so it's nice to see that they're gonna probably get to keep their jobs and make some money, because it does affect all the little people. And these guys, the big companies have been crushing down on them for a while. So apparently they also hooked in BlackBerry, which is a Canadian company, and Bed Bath and Beyond, and even Tootsie Roll. The company that makes Tootsie Rolls has kind of had a rebound on this. Nothing as crazy as the GameStop one, but pretty cool. So, anyways, how does this affect us in Magic the Gathering? So, a couple more things. So, the people that did this group, apparently the initial people who did saw the chance and did this turned about $50,000 into $20 million. So that's the kind of money. Now, I want to be careful on how I actually endorse this, because what's happened today is that $350 that they went up to a stock went down to about, I think it went down to like almost 260, I think, when I was looking at it. So people are going to lose money on this too. So there's going to be the other side of it as well, of people who are going to lose money. And so just be careful when you're getting into this stuff. Remember, Wall Street, they like to talk about it like it's some legit awesome business. It is gambling. It is gambling every bit as much. Maybe not every bit as much, but it's a lottery ticket, and people are doing nasty stuff and trying to manipulate so they can make more money. There are laws around it, but it's so loose, and you see how some of these shows, they'll talk about a stock and then it'll go up, and a lot of times it's not based in anything. It's no different than buying a revised card and hoping it's going to go up 50%. It's not really based in a lot. A little bit of supply and demand on Magic the Gathering and Wizards of the Coast stuff, but and there is certainly some supply and demand, which is an issue. I mean, certainly alpha cards, there's just not a lot of them, or beta cards. Even revised, there's a decent amount, but there's not a crazy amount of that stuff out there. And if you want it, there's a little bit of supply and demand, and people actually play the game. That said, the bump in the last 9 months or whatever has been mostly just people speculating, or the last 6 months. Most people just speculating on stuff. There is certainly a thing of YouTube channels and stuff opening old sealed product. So that has affected the sealed market in a reasonable kind of way. But again, a lot of it's just speculation, and people like, if I can get a box of, what's the Dark's a good example. If I can get a box of the Dark, well, people are like, oh my god, the Dark's $5,000 before it was like at the beginning of December. And now someone was like, oh, it's $7,000. Like, that's a big increase over a short period of time. And there's no way that the Darks went from, say, I don't know, 5,000 boxes in existence to 100 all of a sudden. It's probably like, a few hundred, maybe 100 boxes got opened or something, if that. So most people are just sitting on it. Hard to open some of this old stuff. I know I opened a few old packs recently, and it's like it's hard to crack the seal on it, because you know that it's going to go up in value, and there's just less and less of them all the time. Because idiots like me open stuff on YouTube. So how does this directly? So I just try to think about this, how this directly affects us who follow Magic the Gathering and Wizards of the Coast. So we have seen in recent years Wizards of the Coast, and they're just really brazen about it. They're just like, I know it's COVID outbreak, people have less money, but we need to make more money because we need ivory back scratchers, and we need to drive fancy cars, and there's a lot of greed going on, and I think a lot of players are kind of like, wouldn't it be nice to see a little bit of a backlash on that, and them actually care more about their customer base, more than just the bottom line, because it clearly, when we see things like VIP, when we see the mass reprints of any card that gets any value, is instantly reprinted for equity by the company that says they don't notice reprint equity when they reprint things like Sylvan Library that was over $100, or any of the stuff, what the hell was in the set? Any of the tutors or anything like that have hit a price high. There's a lot of people speculating on some of the cards. What'll be reprinted this year, because they've went up over the last year because people want them. So now they're gonna reprint everything they can make their money on. You and I won't make the money. It'll be Wizards of the Coast because they just mass print these things. So really interesting story. Nice one for the little guy. I must admit, I thought this one was really cool. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope these guys stop people from knocking down these small companies more and giving them a fighting chance. We need more small businesses. Small businesses are way better for employers. They pay better. They treat employees better. They were better for regulations during the pandemic. The Costco's and the big stores, they largely don't give a crap. They say they do, but they don't. They just like, we got to be able to make money all the time. They throw their workers in the fire. They're like a general in the army where they send their people out where they don't care. I don't want to besmirch every general, but I'm just saying you get the feeling like the president sometimes, like they're just chess pieces. They don't care if they got to throw you a rook into the or a pawn into battle and sacrifice you for something. They'll do it because your life doesn't matter a lot to them, and that's the feeling you get with these kind of things. So anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. A little different for us to get into something a little bit political. Everyone, we will be doing all kinds of Kaldheim stuff, giveaways, and more. Have a magical day. Thank you for watching Collectors of the Coast. Please subscribe and like below. If you like our content, please consider becoming a patron. Patrons help us grow the channel, and I'll get great deals and more. Check us out on Discord if you'd like to become a part of the community. The information to join the Discord is in the description below.